Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have Royal Caribbean is going big in Europe in 2026. Also, they are making it easier for you now to put a hold on a cabin and make up your mind, decide whether or not you really do want to go on that cruise. We also have an update on the Regal Princess. Is she going to make her next sailing or not? She's already canceled 2 sailings for 14 nights altogether. Virgin Cruise Line, speaking of canceling, they're canceling a bunch of cruises in 2025, and yeah, it's a little different when a smaller cruise line cancels cruises. And then we have Carnival getting blamed for a change in the Carnival gift cards from AARP. But really, they have nothing to do with it. So let's talk about Royal Caribbean deciding to go pretty big in the Mediterranean, well, Europe next year, because it's not only going to be the Med, they're also going to go up into Norway from Southampton and places like that. They're bringing 5 ships in 2026, and that's going to be the Harmony of the Seas, the Odyssey of the Seas, the Explorer, the Liberty, and the Brilliance of the Seas. So 5 ships sailing in Europe. That's the most they've ever done, and that includes a Quantum class ship, and it includes a Oasis class ship sailing the Med. So if you like that big entertainment, and I believe on Harmony it's Greece is the show that's going on, one of my favorites. Yeah, lots of choices there, from the smaller ships to the huge Oasis class ship. And yeah, they're sailing everywhere. They're going to be going from Naples, they're going to be going out of Rome, they're going to go from Athens, again Southampton, and they're going to be visiting places like Turkey and Italy and Greece and Norway, etc. So you're going to have lots of choices with Royal Caribbean in 2026. And just to make it a little bit easier, Royal Caribbean is changing their hold policy. So when you go in and you can make a courtesy hold, it's called, for 24 to 48 hours on a cabin before you have to put your deposit down. You can say, you know what, I'm gonna there, and now I'm gonna talk to my friends. Are they gonna go? Do they want to go? Etc. Make up your mind. Yes, I'm gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go. And then put your deposit, or just let the cabin disappear after the 24 hours. Well, 24 hours isn't always enough time to make your decision. So they're now expanding that to 5 days. You can now put a courtesy hold for 5 days before that cabin will go back into the inventory, which makes it easier to arrange with family and friends, especially if you're traveling with like 3 different couples trying to travel together, or a family trying to have a reunion on board of like 10 cabins. It just makes it so much easier to make these bookings and put a reserve on it. Now, that doesn't mean that you can call today for a cruise leaving at the end of November and put a 5-day hold on it. Those ones, because they're so short a time period, you would have to put your deposit within 24 hours. However, a normal person, booking cruises, we're normally booking 6 months or later, a year out. Nowadays, sometimes 2 years out. And when you're doing that, you'll have those 5 extra days to put these bookings down on there. So a little easier. And again, in Europe, a lot more ships. Now, Regal Princess, she had to cancel 1 sailing. She's currently canceled another sailing due to technical difficulties. We don't really know what the technical difficulties are right now. However, it seems like they are progressing really well for the repairs, etc., the maintenance that's going on, and they are really confident that they are going to be set sail for their next sailing. So if you're on that next sailing that hasn't been canceled, chances are pretty darn good that you will be able to sail and the itinerary won't be changing. So that's good news for everybody holding their breath, waiting to know, is my cruise going to go on the Regal Princess? So fingers crossed, but they seem to think pretty positive. They've got this licked, and they know what they're going to be doing, and it should be all set and repairs done in time. And speaking of canceled cruises, Virgin Cruise Line is canceling some 2025 sailings. on the Valiant Lady. These are in May, the 23rd and the 28th, and then again in October on the 10th and the 15th. The reason they're canceling this is that they've been hired to have the whole ship. Somebody is renting out the ship or purchasing the ship for private events, etc. This happens, you know, Carnival, etc. You've seen those private tours, company tours, etc. And this has happened. Now it is getting fairly close. We are in November and the first one is canceled in May. That's less than half a year to get, you know, change your itinerary. It's still a fair amount of time, and they are reaching out to their passengers, offering them other sailings, and if you decide to go on another sailing of equal or shorter length, the price will remain the same, and you will get a $100 onboard credit as well. However, and the same class of cabin, etc. The big thing is, though, because right now they only have a limited amount of ships, there's only the one ship sailing out of Miami, I believe, during these times, and the other ships are in various other destinations. So it makes it harder to just jump on another cruise ship, right? If you were, for instance, sailing out of Miami or sailing, say, out of Vancouver to Alaska on Princess, and they have 8 ships going to Alaska, well, it's easier to jump around on the ships. But Virgin is still building their fleet. They've only started since, believe it or not, the pandemic. Remember, they tried to launch during the pandemic of all times. They launched in March of 2020. Horrible timing. Horrible timing for a cruise company, but they ended up, you know, being pretty successful in their market. They've made some changes. They no longer switch over to a living room kind of setting on their cruise ships. They leave the bed out because it's much more aesthetically pleasing than what it looked like with the dormitory kind of furniture from, you know, college. But they've changed their itinerary. They're really known for their food on board, etc. They know their clientele they're going for. And their price structure has changed a lot from when they first tried to launch the cruise ship. It's much more in line with other cruise lines now. So Virgin has been making changes, but it is a little harder to jump from one ship when you're on Virgin to another because they're not all sailing from Miami. So yeah, some people may have a little harder time switching over and will most likely just get their full refund from the cruise. And next, the website that you know, offers hotel discounts and everything, AARP, also sells like gift cards. And Carnival Cruise Lines is one of the gift cards that they offer, and they used to offer them at a 10% discount, which means you would only pay $90 for a $100 gift card, which you could use to pay your cruise. So you're saving 10% on your cruise. Well, people have recently noticed for a short time the cards disappeared. And now the cards are back, but now it's at 8%, meaning that that $100 gift card will now cost you $92 and not $90. And people are upset, blaming Carnival, you know, emailing John Heald, and Carnival has nothing to do with it. It's the company that is offering this discount, etc. They're purchasing these things and they're setting the rate. AARP is setting the discount rate for the cards in, you know, and Carnival is agreeing to it or not. And it also says right on the website, these are not guaranteed cards. They are limited by supply and demand, and that offer could change at any time. So if you're angry about the AARP cards going lower and changing their discount, remember, it's not Carnival that's doing it. It's the company themselves that are doing it, and maybe those are the people you should send out that message to. Well, let me know in the comments down below. If you were on a Virgin cruise line and they canceled your Miami sailing, and maybe your only other sailings would be like in the Mediterranean or Asia or Australia, would you switch to one of those itineraries, or would you just cancel your cruise altogether? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.